Nice shot.
It's one of the best kept secrets there is waterfowl hunting in Nevada.
Ducks Unlimited Television is presented by Drake Waterfowl Systems, innovators in waterfowl hunting.
Hello again and welcome to Ducks Unlimited TV. I'm Ashley Ward. It's easy to forget that waterfowl inhabit all regions of North America. Today's show begins in the state of Nevada, where DU volunteers and co-host Phil Bergeli enjoy a hunt in the desert. You will learn the importance of water here and what Ducks Unlimited does to enhance and restore wetlands in arid environments. Then I travel to Mississippi near Tunica to hunt with top volunteers. I joined this group to find out more about wetlands conservation in the Magnolia State. You don't want to miss this next on DU TV.
Nevada, when I first was told about the position, my first response, are there ducks in Nevada? I think that's a pretty common reaction for a lot of people because it's really not known as a waterfowl state. What I've found is that there's actually quite a few opportunities. There are large refuge areas, and what I find most interesting to me is when you come up to these wildlife areas and refuges, the marshland areas, you're driving through desert and you go, man, there's no ducks out here, and all of a sudden you come over a little ridge and there you go, there's a wetland mecca and ducks everywhere.
Because this is not a top-of-the-mind duck hunting state. People think about big game hunting when they think about hunting out here. So you come out here in the middle of the desert and you find not only this giant marsh, but there's this whole little duck hunting village. I didn't expect any of this. I had no idea what to expect, but it certainly wasn't this. Tom, this is an oasis in the desert. It really is. Incredible place you brought us to here. Tell me a little bit about the club, and because you grew up hunting here, right?
The club actually has been around since 1922. The Canvasback Club has a reputation of, really being a good place to hunt. I want to be part of this. The tradition here, the draw, the whole thing.
Club is almost 100 years old. It was founded in 1922. And they have a drawing. They still use the same wheel and the same numbered balls they've used. And so every morning there's a drawing here for a spot.
You guys got to experience the draw yesterday morning, and that's one of the unique things about the club. On a busy Saturday, there'll be 90 or 100 people in that draw house. It's a little bit of controlled pandemonium, an interesting process, so we all enjoy it. It creates a lot of camaraderie, amongst the members of the club as well.
I was a little kid. They were using that exact same system when I was 8, 9 years old. That particular system's been in place for a long time. The same balls, the same basket, the same everything. Kind of nostalgia now.
Ducks Unlimited Television is presented by Drake Waterfowl Systems, innovators in waterfowl hunting. Mossy Oak Shadow Grass Blades, the official camo of Ducks Unlimited. Browning Firearms, the best there is. And by Ducks Unlimited's Ducks Expo at Texas Motor Speedway, celebrating everything outdoors.
The roads are muddy.
Our ranch manager, John Carrington, he's been here for 43 years. And it's amazing what that guy knows and does.
I've been coming down here since I was basically born. My mom and dad met down here. Both my grandparents were members. This is a large part of my life. The next pond over is where I shot my very first duck when I was 11 years old.
What kind of duck was it?
A teal. A green-winged teal. I met my wife down here. Finally ended up marrying her. And we raised our 2 kids here. But yeah, probably my favorite memory is meeting my wife. Pretty special. And every day is a good memory. I mean, every day going out in the marsh, and pretty nice to be able to have 6,000 plus acres to go play on. I mean, some people call it work, but it is play. It is fun. You try to take what you have and make it a little better. We've had to make the water go farther just because of the lack of water. And so that creates shallow water, which is not all bad. I mean, it's actually a good thing. No, it is fun to be out here in the marsh every day. Then turned into my passion as far as work goes. This job came open and I decided I could play with ducks right away. Every day you get up and go to work, and it's not going to work. You get up and just do what you do and enjoy it. So it's a pretty neat job. I've really enjoyed managing wetlands for this period of time.
You know, we often think of an oasis as only being in a desert a long way away, like in the Sahara. But in fact, a wetland area in any desert is known as an oasis, a place of refuge for people and animals alike. While the wetlands of Utah, Nevada, and Arizona may not seem important to ducks, they provide vital habitat during waterfowl migration, breeding, and brood rearing periods for a number of species. Wetlands restoration through the Ducks in the Desert initiative is Ducks Unlimited's plan to sustain these rare habitats. Water, of course, is the top priority in quantity and in quality, along with issues like bird health and eliminating invasive plants in our plan for maximizing desert wetland acreage. By contributing to the Ducks in the Desert initiative, you're supporting habitat conservation not only in our western states, but in the breeding grounds of the western boreal in Alaska and Canada. To find out more about how you can help, not only in the desert, but across North America, please visit our website at ducks.org.
DU Insights is brought to you by Mossy Oak Properties. Find your favorite place at mossyoakproperties.com. DUTV is powered by Browning Ammunition. the best there is. Mossy Oak Properties, America's land specialist. Purina Pro Plan, nutrition that performs. And Plano Synergy and Zinc Calls, a champion in every call.
Like everywhere else, it's about the water. And there's years when we don't get a whole lot of water here.
And we go through dry years and we go through wet years. And dry years, there was one year we had one unit with a little bit of water. And last year it all came back. We do live in a desert and it does fluctuate between really good years and not such good years. But we have a really substantial wetlands in this valley.
The Stillwater Marsh is the natural terminus or the end of the Carson River. So as is true with almost all the wetlands in Nevada, they're all terminal wetlands. In other words, the river doesn't flow through them and then flow someplace else. It ends here. It is the driest state in the country, but we do have some great wetlands and some pretty good duck hunting because of it.
There used to be a lot more water, and so it was more deep water. And now with water restrictions and like that, it's now a shallow water marsh more. Actually, it produces way more birds now than it did. We have much more management, more feed. Some of the projects have been helped by DU, and that's the one thing we've strived over the years is to have better water control. Water management is the key to wetlands management.
Nice shot.
It's one of the best kept secrets there is waterfowl hunting in Nevada.
All right, let's talk a little bit about how to select a duck call. So a call like this green top rocker right here is made out of cast acrylic. Not injection molded, it is a custom call, and it is actually turned on a CNC machine out of a cast acrylic rod. This material is extremely durable, okay? This call will last you a lifetime if you take care of it. Single reeds typically are a little harder to blow and master because they have a large range from high end to low end. They're very temperamental. They are like a Corvette. Very good call, but you have to be a little bit more experienced to use them. Then when you get to the double reed, so if you're just getting started, it's an easier call to master, and they are very ducky. Here's a wood call. Now a wood call has, in my opinion, more of a softer, natural, raspy sound. I really like the sound of a wood call. It's not as durable. A wood call typically will last you 5, 6, 7 years, and things just start to go wrong with them. You know, they get loose, they swell, they contract. But one thing about a wood call is it also absorbs moisture. So if you're a wet duck caller, and you have a lot of moisture in your duck call, and it sticks a lot, a wood call will really help you, okay? So the last call I'd like to talk about is just having a whistle. I think every lanyard, if you're a duck hunter, should have a whistle on of some type. For quiet days, for youth callers, average callers, to just add to the sound of a flock of ducks on the water. And there's many days where I use this maybe 30% of the time, and this 70% of the time. No wind days, smart ducks. It could be in October, but we haven't had a migration for quite a while, and the ducks are smart. Boom, I use this quite a bit, okay? Late season, very, very effective. I like to buy or put on my lanyard 2 exact opposite duck calls. I like to have a loud acrylic single reed, and I like to have a soft, easy blowing double reed for different conditions. So have 2 tools, have a hammer and a saw versus 2 hammers on your lanyard. I hope this helps, and remember, call them close.
Duck Talk with Fred Zink, powered by Plano Synergy and Zinc Calls, a champion in every call. DUTV is brought to you by Native Nurseries, hand-selected, hand-grown plants for wildlife. Higdon Outdoors, quality, customer service, innovation. That's Higdon. Biologic, scientifically proven wildlife products. Closed captioning for Ducks Unlimited Television is brought to you by Mossy Oak Bottomland, the official timber pattern of Ducks Unlimited.
Cold, wet, wintry conditions can sap the strength and stamina right out of your retriever. He's using all his body energy just to stay warm. A rule here is to keep your dog high and dry. Let's look at a few ideas. Deke is sporting a thermal vest that's going to get wet. Underneath that, his body heat is going to be captured and keep the dog much, much warmer than if he was just out in the wide open. A second thing we want to use is a water stand or a platform to keep the dog out of the water. Your dog is using 3 times the energy if he's standing in the water than if you got him out of the water. Another trick is to use a thermal insulated dog hide. If you got a dog hide, it keeps the dog out of the wind, out of the snow, out of the rain, and conserves heat. It's going to trap the heat inside and your dog is going to stay much warmer. Here are a few other things to consider. In this scenario, we're working 2 dogs with 2 bumpers on the water, practicing the dogs leaving the hides and coming back to delivery. We want the dogs to remain still and quiet until released on the retrieve. The hide provides a bit of camouflage for the dog while on the hunt, but it also provides really good insulation. Coffin blinds certainly can hide the hunter. Some hunters like to put the dogs inside the coffin blinds or layout blinds with them. This can create a safety issue, so it should be well practiced before actually put into the field. The main rule is keep a wet dog out of the water as much as possible. The biggest challenge is keeping the unsteady dog quiet. Working in cold, icy conditions is dangerous. Slipping and straining can pull muscles and damage joints. Here, precautions are in order. Thin ice on top of the water will stop a dog's progress, and they can't get on top of it. This requires chopping on the dog's part. Pre-hunt acclimation for the dog working on ice is in order. Discourage athletic water entries. Guard against slipping and sliding, and even breakthroughs. Hunting in icing conditions, even if you've got an open duck hole, still takes precautions. It's something you consider every time you send that dog for a retrieve.
Duck Dog with Mike Stewart is presented by Purina Pro Plan. Nutrition that performs.
So this weekend we hunted in my beautiful home state of Mississippi, the hospitality state, and it sure was that.
We've gotten together with all of our zone chairmen and district chairmen to have a district workshop. The camaraderie, that brings everybody together.
The weather forecast says clear skies. Started out as a south wind and it's quickly escalated and it's to the north now. Inclement weather advisory. And the ducks are flying, so overall it's a good day. Yeah.
I tell folks a lot of times it's kind of like a family reunion that everybody's excited to go to.
All right.
Tell them about the gun line.
Woo! I've been waiting on them to do that all morning. Such a strong bond, and you know, a lot of those things, that starts in a duck blind. You can talk a lot of business out there and get things done, and that's exactly what these guys do. You know, they love to hunt, they love what they do, but they're even more passionate about Ducks Unlimited. And I think that's what makes this state so great and so unique.
We get together to be together. Of course, we all like shooting ducks, we love it. But if we don't have ducks, we're still gonna have a good time. We say our DU family, and we mean it. Those guys are family.
You know, volunteers are important to Ducks Unlimited for a lot of different reasons. As much staff as Ducks Unlimited have, we can't do the on-the-ground work that these guys are doing. We can't put in that extra time in the places that they're doing it. You know, these are the guys that are staying up late at night and putting on events. You know, they're the lifeblood of this organization, and without them, we would certainly 100% not be where we are today. It's important to remember that the Ducks Unlimited mission reaches far across the North American continent. DU and its members recognize the importance of wetlands habitat to waterfowl and wildlife, especially in places like the Nevada desert, where it would seem unlikely that a duck or goose would live. And a special thanks to the Mississippi volunteers, whose ever-increasing commitment to Ducks Unlimited and conservation is greatly appreciated. In closing, please join us for great content at ducks.org and see you again soon on DU TV.